Well, hello everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming. My name is Erica Lloyd and I'm the project manager for this project that I'm going to present, the Drainage Pump Station 1 Watershed Drainage Upgrades and Green Infrastructure Project. This is the agenda that we are going to go over. We're going to talk about the project team, the introduction to the project overview, discuss the existing problems and the proposed solutions, and then we are going to close with next steps. Regarding the project team, of course the owner is the City of New Orleans, in particularly my division, the Stormwater and Green Infrastructure. We have here to my right, Mary Kincaid, the director of our division, myself, and Catherine Combe as the Resilience Outreach specialist around the room. The design team is the design of record, the engineers of records are C.D.M. Smith. Dana Brown and Associates provides landscape architecture, and digital engineering is the secondary architect. Now I'm going to introduce a little bit the project for you. So this project is very large. It encompasses 9 neighborhoods. It talks Broadmoor, Central City, Garden District, Lower Garden District, the Aris Channel, St. Thomas Development, Truro, East Riverside, and Milan. These neighborhoods are located between the Central Business District and Uptown. And the boundaries are to the north, it's Broad Street. To the east, it's MLK Avenue and Melpomene Street. To the south, it's Chapitulas Street. And to the west is Louisiana Avenue and Toledano Street. So as you can see, it's a very large geographic area. And here are all the different activities that we're going to be talking about that are going to be done in this project. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of what's going to happen in that project. This is, as you can see, this is what we just saw, the project area. This project used to be called Broadmoor HMGP, or Hazard Mitigation Grant Program. But right now, we decided, a few years ago, we decided to change it to DPS 01 because this is the whole impact of this project. That's the large shape area is the watershed area that drains to this pumping station 1. So the entire watershed is receiving benefits. In this project area, we are doing this project, as you could see, is so large, we decided to split it into 2 phases. And we're gonna have stormwater parks, stormwater lots, green intersections, and associated pipe upgrades. And phase 2 is gonna be more focused on the complete streets with those pipe upgrades. Phase 1 is focused on the stormwater parks, and I'm gonna discuss that next. But I wanted to do a little bit of a flip of this image so you could kind of see or understand what the meaning is of upstream and downstream. The river, if you look at the top of my hand, that would be the flip image. The river is our highest elevation. You may have up to 15 feet high over sea level. And the water drains down to DPS 01, the pumping station 1, and that's at the lowest part. That's the famous bowl of New Orleans, and that could be anywhere from 3 to 5 negative below sea level. So many people in previous community meetings have told us, but how come the water goes up? No, that's why we flipped it. The water goes down. And anything that is in this top portion, closer to the river, is considered upstream. So the most projects we do upstream, the more benefits we received. Anything that is at the half cone of this pizza slice shape it's going to be downstream. So the purpose when it's downstream, it's storing, but it's also getting the water closer to the pump. Now we're going to talk about what are our problems, why this project became to exist. Well, this is exactly the problem. We get localized flooding, we repeat losses, and we damage our houses, our businesses, and our vehicles. And we also, every time these floods happen, we put a burden on our drainage system, which, as many of you know, this is a very old city, over 300 years old, so our drainage system is the same. Now we're going to talk about some proposed solutions. So in phase 1 and phase 2, we have stormwater parks. Phase 1 is going to have A.L. Davis Playground, Annunciation Square, Taylor Playground, and Burke Playground, or Clay Square. Either way, some people call it differently. These are the locations of this park. Annunciation or Clay are in the upstream of the system, and A.L. Davis and Taylor are in the downstream. The parks will not be changed. The recreation facility will remain as a recreation facility, but we are going to put reservoirs underneath those parks. So these are the reservoirs that we are going to do. This is like a Lego system. These are plastic containers that are open for water to stay there. You have the soil, you have aggregate, you have the systems going in there, which some parks will have 1 layer, some other parks will have 2 layers and 3 layers and so forth, as much as we can store. Then we'll have another layer of 2 layers of aggregate and the soil with a specific turf grass that is drought tolerant, and it has fiber soils that make it drier quicker. So whenever we have a storm, that's one of the benefits. These parks will dry faster, so you will be able to go and enjoy the park after the storm quicker than before. And this is kind of what is going to look at a park. This is a picture from A.L. Davis. This is the field, and this is underneath the system with the tanks. The water comes in at a higher level, and then it outflows at a bottom level. And this is kind of how it's going to work. In phase 2, we are going to have 2 parks, and we are in this area, we are in Van McMurray, so this is park number 1, and it's located right here on the map. Van McMurray is going to have underground storage, 3 layers of the tanks. It's going to store 121,000 cubic feet of water, and that equates to 2 feet over a football field. So that's a lot of water. It's close to, it's over 900,000 gallons of water of storage. So it's pretty good. And then we'll have a new paved street, we'll have a new sidewalk, and pipe upgrades that then we're gonna have back a field with grass and improved grass that it will dry quicker after a storm. Then the second park in phase 2 is gonna be Saratoga. We have actually the boards for Van McMurray and Saratoga. Saratoga was a challenge for many years environmentally. Actually, these 2 parks have been one of the main reasons this project has been delayed for so long, because we had environmental challenges, and in Van McMurray we had archaeological challenges. So Saratoga is going to store 142,000 cubic feet of storage, and that equates to 2.6 feet over a football field and over 1 million gallons of water, so that's pretty neat. And here you can see that the number ones are the inlets. The water from the neighbor will come to this part, to this square, through the inlets, go through the dry detention ponds, and then move out through the outlets. Now, that's the location to it. I wanted to mention one fun fact about this, or one really good thing, which the reason for this design is based on this little serpentine walkway was inspired in the song A Closer Walk with Thee from Mahalia Jackson that she dedicated to Louis Armstrong. And that's every beat of the song inspired these steps and this wiggly song. So the song starts here and it goes the entire, you can hear the entire song until you're out. So it would be great probably for second lines or things like that. So it's very inspiring. Very New Orleans too. So with that, those would be the stormwater parks. Just to recap the benefits, it reduces street flooding, and it provides quicker recovery for the fields, so you can use these parks quicker after a storm. Now, once we go in construction, these parks will be either partially or fully closed. In its majority, it's gonna be partially, but some other parks will be closed fully during a period of maybe 4 to 8 months, and that because it includes not only the excavation and the reconstruction and resetting of the field, but also the settlement of the new grass to go in there. So that's why we may need that time. But they will not be closed all at the same time. It would be phased. So next, I guess we can pause. And now let's move to complete streets. We have 4 complete streets in this project. We have projects in Coliseum Street, in St. Thomas Street, on Phillip Street, and Baronne Street. Now, I wanted to show you Baronne because we have a rendering for Baronne, and Baronne is one of the longest streets. It's gonna go, like it's showing it in here, from MLK Avenue or Boulevard to Phillip Street. And this is how it looks today, and this is how it's going to look after this project is done. We'll have reservoirs underneath the street. We'll have new paved areas, pervious pavers, so they will get like canals, so they will collect water from the parking lane. They will have permeable bike lane and very secure bike lane. This is going to be a raised curve, so it's separated from the traffic lane, and also a bioswale that is going to purify and improve the water that goes into this system. This is going to store almost 180,000 cubic feet of water, and that equates to over 3 feet over a football field, or 1.3 million gallons. So it's pretty impressive. We're very proud of this one, and we'll look forward to you enjoying it. But one of the cool features is we have a rendering that shows, kind of simulates how much water is going to be stored underneath this street at a different intensity of a storm. So right now we have half an inch, and we can see that there's a little bit of water here. So nobody sees that water. That water is not going to impact you. As that storm gets higher into 1 inch, 1.5, 2 inches, 2.5, this starts to be a pretty high, intense rain, and you still don't see water in there. So that's pretty impressive. You need to keep going. 3 inches, and it's not until you get 3.5 inches of a storm that you might start to see some water on the street. But the most important thing is that it's not in your homes. So this is a pretty cool feature. Now these are the other complete streets. Coliseum Street is going to have also the permeable parking lane and some storage. We don't have the image of the reservoirs because this was done a long time ago. But this is going to have also underground storage. It's going to store 200,000 gallons of water. And this is going to be St. Philip and St. Thomas. They are designed the same. They will store almost 1 million gallons each. So again, these streets are really important. So now we're going to talk about next steps. Here I'm going to summarize. This is what's going to happen in phase 1. These are the parts that will happen. They will have some 2 stormwater lots. They will have 3 green intersections or street basins and some pipe upgrades. And phase 2 is going to have the 2 parts, some pipe upgrades, and then the complete streets that we discussed, and then 2 street basins. All in all, this project stores close to 13 million gallons. Currently, this project is complete in design. We have, as I mentioned before, we have been stuck with FEMA approval for environmental and historical and archaeological issues. We have moved on. This meeting was planned maybe about a month and a half ago, and it was just last Friday that we got communication that this project has been finally approved by FEMA. And as of early of yesterday, on Monday, we received the official letter. So I am happy to announce that this project is moving forward, and we are getting ready to start procurement on this. So you'll see that coming soon. Construction bidding is going to happen towards the end of this year, with the construction starting in the first quarter of 2024. And before we go, well, that's this is the timeline that we have. Summer of 2019, when we completed the design, we have done a few tweaks, and so as we were waiting for approvals, and winter of 2024 is when construction should begin, and it will be completed within 2 years after that. But one thing I want to leave you to close this meeting is that it's pretty impressive, and I'm going to zoom it up for you. This project stores 13 million gallons, but 2.5 times that storage, and that means 29 million gallons, is the gallons of water that this project is gonna keep before it gets to the pump. We are holding water here, but we are also redirecting water through all these interventions. So the water is taking a longer time to get to the pump as it used to be. So this is very important, because it's not water that is stored per se, but it's water that is not getting to the pump. So the pump is working more efficiently, pumping the localized water first before 29 million gallons get to it. It will eventually get, but at a slower rate. And 13 million that is a storage will take up to 48 hours for that water to finally make it to the pump. And this 500,000 gallon is it's water that will never get to the pumps, because it's going to nurture the soils, so it's going to prevent subsidence, and it's going to nurture the trees and the grasses and the plants that we are installing. So with that, thank you all for your time, and now we open it up for questions.